Michael Matheson re-ups in Montreal, and that's another name off the board of a potential defenseman rental. John Carlson's out there. He's longer in the tooth. He's a career capital. I don't know how real that is. Like, I'm starting to try
Great year, though, man. Whew.
Yeah, well,
John
and
Carlson.
they love him, and he's a career cap. I don't know that that's something that happens, but like, I guess what I'm trying to get to is, where does this leave Rasmus and the market for defensemen this year? Because he's really good of late. Made another great play last night on the first goal for the Flames, and is on a really good heater after a tough October.
Well, and look, this is interesting to me, and it's probably a poker game, but neither side wants to officially say that, all right, the ship has sailed here in Calgary. There is zero chance of an extension. We're just waiting out for the best opportunity to move a valued asset across the league in Rasmus Andersson. Neither side is, I mean, why would you show your hand? I get that. I've been around a long, long time. But does that mean that the door has officially closed on that possibility of extending Andersson? It does to me, but nobody that matters has said that with any sort of official context. So, you know, I think if you're Craig Conroy, you're happy that these guys are signing. You know, Ryan McDonough gets the extension. You know, where I can't imagine John Carlson plays anywhere else but Washington. Mike Matheson, re-ups. He's an important piece of the Montreal Canadiens and what they're building there. So that just shrinks the pool for Rasmus Andersson in a big, big way. So, you know, the game of poker, as far as Conroy is concerned, will continue to get played until he kind of says, all right, we're not entirely sure when we're going to move him. We know the trade deadline is March 6th. We know that there's a trade freeze during the Olympics, February 4th to 22nd. We know there's a holiday roster freeze, which kicks in December 19th. So those are the parameters that we're working with. But I don't believe that messaging is out there in the sense of, okay, send us the best offer you have. Sure, there's been lots of tire kicking and managers consistently in Conroy's ear. I'm sure there have been parameters of deals that have been offered and all of that, but I don't believe, based on the guys that I'm talking to, that Craig Conroy has established, okay, here's exactly what I need, and here's the timeline that I'm working on to get it done.
He's got to be in the driver's seat to a certain extent. He has to know what Andersson wants, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can, if I'm playing make believe in my own brain, where I'm like, okay, if I know Andersson wants $10 million a year for 7, okay, well, that's like, I know that. I'm just making it up. And then I can look at, okay, here's the return.
Yeah.
What's better?
Yeah. And what you allude to is dealing him with an extension, either agreed to or set to be in place, versus just a rental, because those are two different deals.
No, I'm saying keeping him. I think the Flames are still in the business of kicking tires on keeping Rasmus Andersson.
Yeah,
then I would agree with that. I don't think that I don't think
they're going to go. I think they're going to say, okay, I can either play Rasmus 10, and I'm just making up a BS number. I'm going to pay him 10 and keep him, and we've got our defenseman, or I'm getting a first and a prospect.
Right.
I think that's the math. I don't think. I mean, the extension and trade, whatever. But I think it's more. Do I want to keep him?
Yeah.
Or do I want the return?
And to some degree, maybe it's out of your hands too, right? I mean, obviously Rasmus Andersson has final say, but you know, if things don't improve, and we've talked about this before, like I'm a broken record on this. I mean, Nazem Kadri likes Calgary. His family likes Calgary. You know, he wants to continue. He's got a contract to play in Calgary, but he also wants to win a Stanley Cup. And you know, so even though, again, I've talked about this, Edwards does not want to trade Nazem Kadri or, you know, that leadership group. You know, all of a sudden you get into the early 2026 and things aren't looking great. And you know you're a non-playoff contender, which could be the case, right?
Like,
you know, maybe Naz comes in and says, hey, you know what? If it's going to improve your team moving forward, here's where I'd like to go. Here's a couple of these. And if that were to happen, all right, well, now the picture gets a little bit more cloudy with Rasmus Andersson, where you're, okay, well, if we're willing to trade Naz, then obviously it's in our best interest to renovate and trade Andersson and get this collection of younger pieces back.
I don't think they want to trade.
I don't. Yeah, I'm with you. I think if they had their druthers right now, they would sign him if the math was.
Yeah, the
like,
challenge is there's a gap in the money. Like $20 million is what we'd heard this summer. Like the difference between 7 times 6 or 9 times 8 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's 72 versus 42. It's $30 million. That's a huge gap.
Well, then that's where Craig Conroy earns his check, right? So he goes to the agent and says, okay, and maybe he's done this already. I need your best and final. Like, you know, is there any wiggle room? Because we're not going to do what happened with Mikko Rantanen and the Colorado Avalanche. You know, if you're willing to negotiate, okay, let's have that discussion. But, you know, what's your best and final? And if you can't stomach that, if you can't live with that, well, then the decision is made for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and they had those conversations this summer, but you're right, it changes and it's different. He's coming off injury, and the cap clarity is different now than it was then.
Yeah.
And I don't think Rasmus Andersson's desperate. The other side of it, I don't think he's one of those guys. There were a few guys that were here years ago that were like, "Get me the F."
I was just going to say,
I don't think Rasmus is that way.
It's
I think
such a different.
Rasmus would be, I'll move to get what I want, but I don't think he's.
I agree.
And the agent's got to be thinking, like, look at this UFA class shrinking. Like, my guy is becoming more valuable. He's playing better, and these other potential D are re-signing. Like, I don't know the Rasmus numbers is shrinking right now.
It'd be hard to build a case why he would be enticed to take a hometown discount to trim his number when everything is pointing towards maybe making more.
Correct. No, and it's not like it's like, oh, we're going to be in the Cup final in the next 3 years. No, you're not there.
Yeah. The advantage you have if you're the Calgary Flames is obvious. You put that mega contract in front of him. All right, well, that's guaranteed money sitting right in front of you. You know, you're going to take it.
Continue doing what you're doing.
Yes, 100%. That's all we're asking you to do. And you know, look, I mean, the sign and trade, it happens. It's not unusual. It's not the easiest thing in the world to pull off, but it can be. But then you get to free agency and you've got a smaller contract term to work with and all of those things. You know, if Calgary is serious about trying to keep Rasmus, I would think that they would get at it sooner rather than later and make him look at the enormity of that contract and the generational money that he would make by taking it now and see. But look, players more than ever also are willing to bet on themselves. There is some risk. There's a bit of a gamble, right? Injury included. You know, what happens? God forbid, knock on wood, it doesn't. Something goes completely haywire late in the year. You know, maybe people second guess when you get into free agency, but we'll see. There's those based on the pool of unrestricted free agents, Ryan, to your point, he's going to have his pick of the litter, and it'll be the usual suspects who are at the front of the line.
Yeah. Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.